Merchant victorious, years blood, sweat, tears is glorious. I remember when they always ignoring us. Dash, got it on, smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky, I do my dance, jump in the stands. No man, man, oh deal with the hands. Thought he could guard me, I ruin they plans. I do what I want, they do what they can. Got it on, smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash. They slept on the team that they owe me. I need a ring and a trophy. I say I'm the best cause I am. It's noted in keeping it low-key. I can carve up the D like a turkey or run straight through the D like a train. This year we ain't taking no losses. It's all about making the game. I hear a lot of trash talk. He call himself making a name. I put on the Jets. The coach will regret it.
Coach, it's dreary and miserable throughout much of the Midwest, but we've got football to perk up our spirits. That's the good news at Paul Brown Stadium. That's where we're at here in Cincinnati. This crowd loves their orange and black. The scene just a short time ago, they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football as the Bengals get set to do battle with Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be fielded at the 6. Twisting away. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. It's a kickoff return of 94 yards as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. So how about that? You want to talk about coming into a hostile environment and just silencing the crowd. They just did it.
Couldn't be a better start. There's no way. All week long, they've talked about having this type of a start, but I think they looked at it from the offensive team's perspective. You know, get the opening kickoff. You guys control the ball. A lot of people are now going to say, okay, now your offense, will they be out of whack? No, not at all. They're going to be absolutely happy. They're relaxed. They took care of business for them. They don't have any pressure now. They can just go play.
So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. This is Joe Mixon, 4th in the NFL in rushing last season. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, that he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to them.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming.
Now Joe Mixon. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
Give them 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
1st and 10 at the 30-yard line.
10-2, sir. 54. Here we go, D. All day.
On 1st down, it's Hill. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Steven Nelson. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. After the interception, here's Roethlisberger. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. And out across midfield down to the 45. A very solid gain of 27. First catch of this game, a big one. Of course, he had the big performance last week when he was AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, but that was so last week, wasn't it? I mean, look at what he's doing now. I think he's trying to exceed what he did in that game and continue to ascend in this season.
Now it appears we have a Steeler here slow to get up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. That ball caught by the former Toledo Rocket, Deontay Johnson. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 27-yard line. On first down, it's Roethlisberger. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And it's now 14-0. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Joe Hayden, the veteran, with a pick. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line.
But to me, it's pretty simple, and it's fairly obvious, isn't it? He's got to start making better decisions with the ball.
That's now 2 interceptions in the first quarter. After interception number 1, there was a long talk on the sideline. And now he's made another mistake.
Yeah, he's just been kind of laying these passes out there. He's kind of been floating them a little bit. He's got to be more decisive in his reads and definitely more decisive in throwing the ball. Rifle it in there every now and then.
The first play of the drive there is incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32.
44.
Now Roethlisberger to throw. Eluding the pressure right. His throw incomplete. James Washington was the intended target, but now it'll be 3rd down.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Incomplete. He had his hands on it, but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
Check nickel. Go team, spill. Hit it.
The keeper gets him 7 that time, but it'll lead to a 3rd down.
I thought that was a good call. Passing situation on 2nd down. They hit him with a draw instead and pick up nice yardage.
Yeah, because the draw, they're thinking pass when they see that initially defensively, right?
But you know, in today's NFL, most of the time on 2nd and long, when it's a passing situation, pass rushers are on the field and they're only thinking one thing, get to the quarterback. And oftentimes you can bypass them with a running play.
Here we go.
9 yards that time.
Let's go, G. Tighten up. Let's go. Recon, 132 fighter. Go.
Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
I think Cameron Hayward's ability to take on blocks, hold the point of attack, and get upfield serves him very, very well. What a nice play there.
Yeah, he can take on blocks because he's built like a block. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Couple of plays sent them the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14. They go play fake, and it's Hill. And a big loss here as he's taken down. T.J. Watt has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Well, competition comes up in so many different ways, and right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. How about 5 sacks last week? We just saw their first run of this game.
And 9 yards there on the return following a punt of 47. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. On 1st down, Connor going to be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Throwing on 2nd down, Roethlisberger. He's going to launch it for Washington. This is caught inside the 15. And down inside the 10 at the 9. It's a big play there for the Steelers. 48 yards. The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. Here's Roethlisberger. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
That's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play. 2 incompletions haven't moved them any closer, and likely throwing again, you'd have to think on 3rd and goal here.
Hey, check Mike 57, Mike 57. Hey, watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen. Easy.
To throw again is Roethlisberger. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Snags it for the pick. And he's into the clear. The 30. 10. 5. And he will score. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
What you just saw there, 1st-round talent, 2nd year, even more success. A pick 6 for a touchdown.
A great play. And it's tough for these guys, you've told me before, to adjust in the secondary as a first-year guy. So that sophomore season is big for them.
They really start to expand the playbook for them even more. Sometimes they dumb it down a little bit to make them comfortable year 1. By year 2, they should have all the nuances, and now they've adjusted to the speed of NFL play as well.
Showed right there. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is taken at his 4. And he's going to be taken down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
And an alley to run. And they do finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 41. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 41 yards on the ground. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. On 1st and 10 is Counter. And some room to work. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A little over 20 yards there, and in 2 plays, they've now moved the ball over 60 yards.
Back! 180! Here we go. Quarter!
On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. And nearly picked off there, almost intercepted. Instead, 2nd down.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series, before you get out there, hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. It'll be a gain of 4, and it'll be 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Oh, my goodness. Was that a defensive back that got to him with the pressure?
Oh, look at the former defensive back. You're all smiles up here.
I hope everybody can hear my smile on that play.
Boswell signed to a 4-year deal prior to last season, but he struggled a little bit.
Yeah, do you think that they saw 13 of 20 when they signed him to a 4-year deal?
Not at all.
Needs a big bounce back in 2019 if he wants to see the end of that contract.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 45.
Hey, Charlie! Snap!
A shotgun snap for Hill. Flush to his right. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. The tight end, C.J. Uzomah, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
It's a Bengal 1st down, a pickup of 11.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Back to Mixon on 1st down. And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
90 5.
On second down, here's Mixon. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Hill now to throw. He's got his man, Boyd. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a first down. Hill on first down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking for Joe Mixon there out of the backfield. But it's going to be second down. Line of scrimmage, the 31, as they line up second and 10. They go back to the ground now with Mixon. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Now the Bengals on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9.
Bravo! 55. Right there in the middle. 55.
From the gun, here's Hill. Got a man, it's Ross, complete. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. John Ross with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. As they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Extra point up and good by Bullock. And the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. This will be taken very short. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Carl Lawson able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. That's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Roethlisberger. And he's going to go down again. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Jordan Berry now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Now here's Ross. Just a net of 34 there following a punt of 44 yards. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Now, here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Mixon with it. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Joe Mixon, his 21st touchdown of the season, and the Bengals have taken the lead.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Already looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
On the return, the Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Inside of a minute left in the half, does the fact that you're down on the scoreboard influence what you do? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon.
Jack 16.
Roethlisberger. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that'll be incomplete. The flag was down, so they took a shot, thinking it's on the defense. Let's see. And the penalty helps, but not a whole lot. It's still 3rd and long.
Check 9, check 9. Line 36. Line 36. 22, 44. Field, D. Let's get off the field, D. Hey, Haywood.
From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. He'll find Washington. That's complete. The Steelers signal for the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1.
Set. 230. Hey, we got to get this stop here, D. Middle. Who's that? Double bump. Who's that? Check 24. Check 24. Go ahead, son.
From midfield now, here's Roethlisberger. He's going to launch it for Washington. And incomplete there, almost picked off. That's one you maybe expect your roaming free safety to come up with. But it's 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
8. 36 to what's up? 59, what's up? 59, what's up?
Again, it's Roethlisberger. Going deep to the end zone for Juju. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the 2nd half.
Let's go, fellas. Let's go now.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just one target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. On third down, Mixon. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
Now Hill looking to throw on first. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. T.J. Watt in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down. First and second down were a disaster. Both went backwards. Now it's 3rd and 18. They need something big. Out of the gun, Hill. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So no problems moving the ball in the first half, but they'll likely come up empty here on drive one of quarter three.
And it was so important for the defense to get that stop because what we witnessed in the first half was them getting run over. And they needed the confidence, and they needed to get off the field so they felt good going forward in this game.
It'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter three, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Shrugs off another. He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Got to do better. Come on, QB, come on. 7-7. Mike 57.
This time, Roethlisberger will throw. Escaping the pressure right. He's going to launch it for Washington. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. James Washington, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Steelers are going to retake the lead. Extra point put through by Boswell. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. A big play there for the Bengals. 65 yards. So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10. As they've got, and he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Back-to-back great plays defensively. You get the sack on 1st and goal, a great job in coverage there. All of a sudden, they're looking at 3rd and goal from further back than when they started.
And the really good play callers look ahead and down and distance sequence. Now he's got to backtrack a little bit and go maybe off his play sheet to try and dial something up here.
A big play to start the drive got him in this position, but this defense has held firm since, and now it's 3rd and goal. Operating from the gun. Hill's hit, and he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember. He's got daylight. He's at the 30. The 20.
I think that was great effort and great execution all the way around. They blocked the kick, and then they formed the line to make sure they can return it and no penalties. What a great job.
Yeah, almost took it in for 6, and now they're in excellent position, 1st and goal. So now a chance for points in the opposite direction after the blocked field goal. They'll run here with Connor. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. James Conner, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
Boswell good with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful.
21.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. Last time they had a little bit of a special teams breakdown. That field goal was blocked.
Yeah, and everything has to be precise in the kicking game. Snap, hold, kick. Obviously the blocking to keep people out. So what you really want to do is get in there and get 6 points and take the pressure off of those guys.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. From the gun, Hill. Got a man, that's Trent Sherfield. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal first down. Mixon with a first down carry. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Here we go. 15, Ronnie. 15 line. Snap.
On 2nd and 11 now. Hill. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Mixon will try the right side. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. The run defense, they have been porous at times today, but not that last go-around.
No, they really tightened it up, didn't they? They finally got themselves a win because all game long we've seen them get gashed. This time they played their responsibilities, played their keys, and made a nice stop.
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
First down, Steelers.
Here we go. Block 80!
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
57 to Mike. 57 to Mike. In your face. He's checking. Take two of them. Here we go.
On first down, it's Connor trying to run inside, but nothing there. Making the play defensively, Carl Lawson. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
They stay on the ground. Here's Connor again. And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Take both of them. Check 24.
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. This is Johnson. He's got it. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A pickup of 24 on the third down conversion. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead, confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to the finish. The strategy would tell you run the football, run the clock down. Instead, they're letting him throw it because they feel that confident in what he's getting done.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is first and goal. Now it's Roethlisberger. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space.
And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. James Conner, his second TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Steelers capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Extra point put through by Boswell. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. The Bengals on 3rd down. They're hitting at 60%, 6 out of 10 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Operating from the gun. Hill. He gets this one to Boyd. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Now it's Mixon running right. And now off to the races, down the right side. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Joe Mixon, touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Bengals are able to cut into this lead. Bullock good on the extra point, and the lead is trimmed down to 10. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
It's a big play there for the Steelers. 42 yards.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
On first down, counter plowing ahead for about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter.
Jack 16. Switch it.
Now this time he'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Nick Perry. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. On 2nd down, Connor looking for space. And he'll take it inside the 40 to the 39-yard line.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
The Steelers on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is going to be 3rd and 13. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Ready?
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. They'll run here with Mixon. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
Here we go. 60 yards. Let's go.
They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They run for it with Mixon. And he's got the 1st down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And an alley to run. There he goes, right side. And a little bit of a consolation prize there. He's into the end zone. Won't win them the game, but they do get the score with all zeros showing.
But some fantasy players are really happy with that score.
The extra point here is good, but the late touchdown can only draw the score a bit closer as this game is over. Well, on the one side, if you try to take away something positive from this game, they played to the final whistle.